I think I'll go to the piano and do this, but I just want to say before I do that, those autographs, thank you very much for your tremendous support on all that. All the songwriters that signed them are all friends, and I sent that one piece of paper around the country to Charles Strauss in New York, who wrote Tomorrow, you know, from Annie, and Burt Bacharach was just going on tour, but he said, send it to me, I'll sign it fast, doing Alfie and Supercalifragilistic. Anyway, I'm going to call all of them again and tell them about the fantastic support you've all given to the Jewish National Fund so they can enjoy it as I've just enjoyed it to them. Thank you very much. It's coming. So, well, I'm very honored, I'm very touched, and I'm very proud to receive this Tree of Life Award from the Jewish National Fund. I would say I can't tell you how much it means to me, but I'm going to tell you how much it means to me. My mother, well, first of all, before I even say that, I grew up in an apartment in the Bronx, and, wow. We should have a separate meeting later about the Bronx. In our apartment, the kitchen table, the centerpiece of our kitchen table with my growing up was a little blue box, the Jewish National Fund. That was part of our lives. And what the box went for when it was filled up to help Israel was part of our lives. My next door neighbor in the Bronx, they were the first people who had a television set and in the apartment house. Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, some of you may remember, was Milton Berle. Well, they were the first people who had the television, and they opened up their apartment house to anyone who wanted to come in and watch Uncle Milty. But if you did, you first had to pass the little boy who shook a little blue box. And if you didn't put money into the push key, you didn't get to see Uncle Milty. But everyone did. Thank you. My mother was born in Israel. She was a Sabra. My mother was born in 1907. I like to say that my mother was born 2 years before Tel Aviv was born. Tel Aviv was founded in 1909. Sometime in the 1880s, Baron Rothschild, I think it was Edmund James Rothschild, bought a lot of land around the Sea of Galilee near the Golan Heights. And with the thought that he would invite Jews to resettle the land of Palestine, to come back to Israel. And on this land, well, first of all, he would offer everyone who came back to Israel, Palestine as it was, a free piece of land, and a goat, and a chicken, and a duck, and a certain amount of money for every child born in Israel. And he sent emissaries to all the shtetl in Eastern Europe, asking him to come back and resettle the land of Zion. My mother's grandmother was among the first to come back and settle the land of Israel. And our family lore has it that she came back, she walked from Russia to Israel with a donkey and 4 children. That's the family lore. And she came to a place that's very historic in Israel history. She came to Rosh Pina. Some of you may know that. And Rosh Pina is a place where among the first Jews coming back to resettle the land of Palestine. My mother was born in Yavneel, which is a little town near Tiberias. And my great-grandmother established a farm that's still in existence today. Actually, it's a dairy farm with hundreds of cows, and it's still in the family. Ben Gurion worked on that farm for my great-grandmother. when he was a young man. My mother moved to America in 1920 with her mother and her siblings. My father was born in Poland, and as a very young man, maybe 16 or 17 years old, he went to Israel, and he became an early pioneer, a chalutz. And he spent years in Israel and eventually moved to America, where he met my mother, and I was born in the Bronx. In 1948, Israel was declared a state, and Ben-Gurion came to America. My mother took me and my older brother out of school so we can come down to the pier to welcome Ben-Gurion. I was 8 years old. And he came off a ship. I remember, I can still picture like a little naval vessel, not little, but not one of those big ones. And I can picture him now passing by. My mother gave us these little Israeli flags. And I can picture him, and I can picture my mother saying, "Shalom, Ben-Gurion, shalom," when he was here. I grew up in an apartment where we had one artwork on the wall, and that was a tapestry of Theodor Herzl in our hallway. I passed Theodor Herzl every day of my life. And I grew up knowing how important Israel is, and how important the Jewish National Fund has been in making Israel strong. And that's why I'm so proud to be here tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, now I'll do some of my songs for you. This is a song about knowing who you are and where you come from and being proud of it. It was the last record that Jim Croce made before his untimely death. Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got a name, I got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I got a name, I got a name. Carried with me like my daddy did, but I'm living the dream that he kept hid. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving the heads to life on, pass me by. Like the north wind whistling down the sky, I got a song, I got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the babies cry, I got a song, I got a song. I carry with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I'll go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving the heads to life on, pass me by. And I'm gonna go there free. Like the fool I am and I'll always be. I got a dream, I got a dream. They can change their mind, but they can't change me. I got a dream, I got a dream. I know I could share it if you want me to. If you go in my way, I'll go with you. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving the heads to life on, pass me by. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving the heads to life on, pass me by. Thank you very much. Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. He sang a good song. I heard he had a style, and so I came to see him, to listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. Felt all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt he found my letters and read each one out loud. I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on, strumming my pain with his foot. Would you help me out? Singing my life with his words. Thank you. Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. He sang as if he knew me in all my dark despair, and then he looked right through me as if I wasn't there. And he went, I prayed we'd finish, but he just kept right on, strumming my pain with his finger. Don't give up now. Singing my life with his word, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. Now the la la chorus. La 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 la. You guys are great. La 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 la, killing me softly with his song.